It took a couple tries, but we got the driver board to work with the HDMI coming off the Xbox One.
While the next console generation is on the horizon, some of this generation's best games are set to launch in 2020. While these new consoles are sure to be amazing, you definitely want to get the most of the systems you already have. That's why this video from TheGamer is going to show you how to hack your console to get the best gaming experience possible. Oh yeah, these tips and tricks also won't cost you a dime. From boosting your PlayStation 4's connection speed to playing region-locked games on your Nintendo Switch, TheGamer is here to help you game better, while on a budget. DNS Manipulation. Picture this, you get home from a long day of work or school, you boot up your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One and just want to chill out with a game. But you can't do that because your game of choice needs an update that's going to end up taking most of your free time. Thankfully, this quickie hack can make your wait a bit shorter. By changing the DNS field in your console from 8888 to 8844, you should gain access to faster internet servers. And by extension, download times. The icing on the cake is that this upgrade should be permanent, meaning that you'll only need to change servers once for a better connection. Beyond faster downloads, this hack should also help you load into multiplayer games faster. This quick fix can go a long way in making your base model console feel new, even if it's starting to enter its twilight years. This knowledge should apply to next-gen consoles too, meaning that you'll be gaming faster than everyone else from here on out. You won't be able to blame a bad performance on lag anymore though. Xbox laptop. So you know how people joke that modern consoles are basically just mid-tier gaming PCs? Well, someone actually turned their Xbox One S into a gaming laptop a while back. In 2017, a gamer named Ben Heck took apart his Xbox One S. Having some spare parts nearby, he incorporated the console's hardware into the shell of a laptop. Doing this essentially allows him to play Xbox games anywhere, so long as they don't need an internet connection. Considering the massive popularity of the Nintendo Switch, this relatively simple hack makes you wonder why Microsoft hasn't made its own portable system by now. Then again, lately Microsoft doesn't seem to mind what you play games on so long as you have a Game Pass subscription. We'll have to see how this attitude carries over into the next console generation. Oh, by the way, doing this hack will definitely void the warranty on your Xbox One S. So don't go through with it unless you're fine with potentially being out $200. Since the One S is the cheapest system on the market though, you might as well mess around with it. PS4 and Xbox One together at last. Microsoft really designed and marketed the Xbox One as an all-in-one entertainment system. While that didn't exactly pan out for the console, it does explain why it has an HDMI input slot in the back. Originally intended to connect to a cable box, this input means you can run anything through the One, so long as you put it in TV mode. This also means that you can connect your PS4's output to the One's input and play PS4 games through the Xbox One. Is there any benefit to doing this? Well, not really. In fact, having two HDMI connections instead of just one means that there will be more input lag with this setup than just playing a PS4 normally. But the cool thing about this setup is that we can do this, even if we shouldn't. Gaming systems are more or less high-tech toys at the end of the day, and sometimes the most fun you can have with a toy is figuring out all the weird and impractical things you can do with it. It's fun, and that's what most gamers are looking for in their consoles. Overclock your PC. People have been overclocking their computers' processors pretty much since personal computers became a thing. It's a cheap way to increase the speed and performance of your computer, and pretty easy if you have a guide. Nowadays, processors can handle an increased amount of strain too, meaning you're way less likely to fry your build by overclocking it than you were even 10 years ago. The process of overclocking your CPU can vary from system to system, so it's best to follow a guide to match your setup. A general tip, though, is to make sure to have an enhanced cooling system to compensate for the extra heat your processor will start putting out. Also, you should definitely back up your system before trying to overclock it, on the off chance that something goes wrong. Lastly, you're pretty much out of luck if you want to overclock a gaming laptop. That kind of rig doesn't really lend itself to overclocking very well. Also, once again, this kind of tinkering is definitely going to void your warranty. So hack and upgrade your PC at your own risk. Region unlocked. Even though we're living in a more globalized society than ever before, for some reason, certain video games are still region-locked. This means that if you're super pumped for a game made in a different country, you may have to wait months or even years for it to be localized. Or it might just never come out for your territory, and then you and millions of other people will be bummed about it. Looking at you, Mother 3.
Come on, Reggie, give us Mother 3!
How about this instead?
Thankfully, you can work around this on the Nintendo Switch. If you create a user profile based in a different region, like Europe or Japan, you can access that area's eShop. That way, you can play games before they're brought over to your region, although they might not be subbed or dubbed in your native language. Either way, you can still experience the gameplay and probably pick up the gist of the story from context clues. With Persona 5 Scramble dropping in Japan soon, now might be the perfect time to try out this workaround. Just remember, these games still cost money and might be harder than you're used to. If Mario the Lost Levels is any indication, become an insider. If you're a major Xbox gamer or PC fanatic for that matter, Microsoft has a program that can get you ahead of the curve. It's called the Xbox Insider Program and allows you to experience system and first-party software updates before the general public. You still have to buy content while in the Xbox Insider Program, but the more active you are, the more opportunities you'll have to get even more behind-the-scenes access. Okay, yeah, if it wasn't clear already, this program basically makes you an unpaid system and software tester. But if you're going to experience the content anyway, getting it first can be fun and gives you some great bragging rights. Obviously, this program isn't for everyone, though. If you're a more laid-back gamer who tackles releases at your own pace, this program isn't for you. If you like being on the cutting edge of all things Xbox and PC, you might want to check this out. Just remember, you're seeing how the sausage is made, and usually testing it for those inedible hard chunks. Ugh, that metaphor was almost too gross. Optimize your TV. Speaking of gross, turn off motion blur on your TV. Nobody likes it, and if you claim to, you're lying to yourself. While you're at it, you can optimize your TV for gaming by switching it to game mode. On high-end televisions or monitors, game mode increases the refresh rate of a screen so that it loads the images sent from a console even faster. This should all but eliminate input lag, or at least make it so minuscule that the human eye can't perceive it. Then again, if you have a less high-end monitor, game mode might just mess around with the color settings on your TV, which, hey, more contrast is always good for games, but it won't help much in getting those frame-perfect counters in Sekiro. When fiddling with your TV settings, also make sure that your audio is synced properly. Audio cues in games are often just as important as visual stimuli, and can play a big role in getting you into the rhythm of a game. Keyboard/controller connection. Even if you won't use either peripheral all the time, it's still worth the effort to set up a controller for your PC and a keyboard for your Xbox. Setting up a controller for PC games is relatively easy. You just need to plug it in through a USB connection, format it, and away you go. Although you might want to use a PS4 controller, since Xbox One controllers still run on batteries. Which is just bizarre in the year 2020. Seriously, is Duracell slipping Microsoft money under the table? Or what's going on here? The Xbox One also has mouse and keyboard support by default, and some games even allow the use of them. Technically, you can use a mouse and keyboard on a PS4 and use them to play any games on either system, but that's a bigger hassle. Also, don't be that guy who's playing COD on a mouse and keyboard when everyone else is using a controller. That's cheap. It's super obvious to other players that you're doing it, and those wins don't really count. Voice commands. If you don't have voice commands set up for either your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One, what are you doing? With the voice commands, you can easily navigate the interfaces of both systems, and save a good deal of time. Even if you're one of those people who threw out their Kinect when you found out it was always watching you, you can still give voice commands with Cortana or Alexa enabled. Actually, never mind. The always-on Kinect was super creepy in hindsight. That particular tinfoil hat was actually a good look.
Xbox sign out? Xbox sign out! Get out of my way!
Enabling voice commands is a quick way to get more out of your system, though, and are at least worth playing around with. They're not a vital part of a gaming experience, but they are kind of fun, and makes consoles feel even more futuristic. Come on, you're basically telling a robot what to do, and the machine follows your commands precisely, except for when someone online tricks you into turning your system off in the middle of a match. That's less than great. Clean your system. Last but not least, we cannot stress enough how important it is to clean your console regularly. If you've noticed your PlayStation 4 or Xbox One running kind of loudly lately, chances are dust and grime are gunking them up. This kind of debris can lead to mechanical failures, or, and this is some nightmare fuel incoming, make them an ideal home for roaches and other small bugs. Thankfully, keeping your console tidy is a pretty easy process. Even just taking a vacuum nozzle to the exhaust vents will go a long way. If you'd like to go above and beyond, there are plenty of tutorials on how to open up a console's casing and give it a nice deep clean. While you're at it, giving your controller or keyboard a once-over is probably for the best. Sweat and residue from food can jam up a controller or keyboard, and make it a lot slower to read inputs. Just like with any hobby, gaming requires that you put some maintenance into your equipment every so often. It might be a huge pain, but it's a cost-effective way to get even more out of your gaming hardware. What do you think of these tips to keep your console in tip-top form? Do you have any that people should know about? Please let us know in the comments down below. Also, remember to like this video, subscribe for more, and ring that bell as that really helps the channel grow. As always, thanks so much for watching.